Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. It's Scott and Deka back with another match reaction. This time we're reacting to the Newcastle United versus Aston Villa game. And Deka, I think you need to kick us off with those three famous words, mate.
Won Ya Kna. Get in, man.
Get
We're
in.
the best. We're the
Get
best.
in. We are. So as you can probably gather, we did beat Aston Villa 4 goals to the good. 4-0 was the final score. Just before the game, Deka, what were your thoughts? Were you confident in this one?
Yes, I was confident. Yeah, I was. Funny enough, the lad who I went to the match with, he was saying, "Oh, I think we'll batter them today," and I was like, I'm always a little bit worried about that new manager bounce, and I know they were saying that he wasn't in the dugout and stuff, but you know what I mean. Gerrard's been sacked, right? They got a great result the last time they were out. So I'm still really confident because we're playing so well. We're full of confidence. Momentum's key in football, and that's what we are at the moment. But I did not expect what happened. You know what I mean? I was expecting to win, but not like that.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, we talked about it on the match preview. Again, we were all confident of a win. I don't think I spoke to anyone who wasn't confident in us getting a result from this game. But like you said, I don't think anyone was expecting with the players that Villa have got. They're obviously not all pulled in the same direction. You can tell that, but they've still got quality on that pitch that can hurt you. And I mean, they didn't even have a shot on target. So I mean,
well, I didn't know that actually. Yeah, that does say everything.
I mean, that tells everything you need to know. But we'll get into the game. Early on, we had a couple of little chances. You know, Wilson has that header which goes just over the bar from Trippier, and you're thinking, oh, is this going to be the floodgates opening? Is this going to be, you know, us on the front foot? And for the first kind of 20, 30 minutes, it was very nervy, I thought. There was a lot of straight passes. Seemed to be a lot of players who it just wasn't clicking. It just wasn't what were we used to. That quality wasn't lacking. It just wasn't coming off. We were trying stuff that we shouldn't really be trying when you're 0-0, and maybe when you're 3-4-0 up, as it turned out to be. How did you see that kind of first phase of game? Because Villa had some chances. And if you're going to cast your mind back, obviously you've had an extra 20 minutes of injury time to go through as well.
Yeah. I think that I was going to reference that actually. I think you know when the fans are up for it as much as they are, right? And you go there and the players are wanting to make a mass pact and it's all fast and furious. I think sometimes that can work against you, which I might sound daft like, but I just feel I was crying out early on, just calm down, just breathe, lads, just settle. Like I was fine. Everything was 100 miles an hour. Every pass was trying to be the pass. That was the pass that led to the goal. I just felt like, just relax, just calm down, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought them had a few, there weren't chances, but difficult moments in the first half where I thought we defended tremendously well.
Yeah.
But it was very last ditch where like Shea just got the ball or Botman just got there. And I was a little bit worried. I can't deny that. I still thought we were full of energy, full of pressing. I never questioned any of that. No. I just felt that we just needed to just take a step back and just breathe a little bit, just calm down. So yeah, I probably agree with you there actually.
Yeah, I think there was obviously the reports that the Brazil national coach was in the stands, and Gareth Southgate was up there sat next to a man who murdered. So I think maybe it's had some to play on some of the players. I noticed Burn and Joe Linton, quite especially during that first phase, where they just didn't seem themselves. And maybe it was just a little bit of pressure on them to go, oh, hang on, this could be my one chance to impress. So, you know what it's like when the boss is watching you, or when someone's looking over you, you can sometimes work against you. But we got through that.
I hope my boss is not watching us now, Scott, I tell you. I should be working.
You mentioned Shaw and Botman. There was a passage of play just before the incident with the goalkeeper, which we'll get to in a minute, where I think Botman receives the ball and there's a Villa player behind him, and he's pressuring him, and Botman's just cool as you like. He just hits this worldy pass, 30, 40 yards of pitch, picks his man, and you just think, oh, this guy's he's different. He's just different gravy. for a 22-year-old, he's unreal.
Yeah. He's absolutely. I mentioned this, I think, last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Of just how good he is. And you hear things from around like different media sources and different ex-professionals are saying like, oh, this guy's come with a lot of reputation. But the question mark I always have, and you'll be the same, I think everyone's the same, that but it's the Premier League, it's this league, and it's this country and all the rest of it. And like, he didn't start much at the beginning. That was credit to Byrne, because Byrne was doing such a good job. I will quickly just move along for 1 second. I have to credit Fabian Schär for this, because Schär has just been a part of everything. Like,
be it
of course, Byrne to that side, or be it Botman to that side, Fabian Schär has been the centerpiece of all of it. So I have to give him a shout out, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, Botman has every attribute you could imagine to be the best. And again today, like I was the lad I went to the match with. I was sitting there and I said, like, going into past games, Danny Ings playing, I would have been a bit nervous today. I would have been, Danny Ings is a good player. And I said to him, I think Botman will have him, no problem at all. Like, no issues whatsoever. And as you've mentioned, I didn't know this stat, but you've said they didn't have a shot on target. And defending, I always say this a lot, it does start from the front. You've got Wilson pressing, you've got Miggy pressing, and all the rest of it. Cool. But eventually, there'll be an opportunity or a chance and it's up to the back four. And the amount of calmness and sort of confidence I've got in them, I've never had that as a Newcastle fan in the back four or back five. It's unbelievable. It's forbidden territory. Like, it's just unreal.
It is. I mean, even in the 90s when we were good, our defense was always a bit shaky and a bit.
It was.
We'd always leak like 2-3 goals, but we knew we'd score maybe 4 or 5, so it kind of counterbalanced it out. But it's nice you mentioned Schär there, because I think the nice thing about Fabian Schär is, with a better player around him, he's become a better player in himself as well. 100%. He's now thinking, I don't have to play 2 positions where potentially I don't really 100% trust the person I'm on the pitch with to do his job. So I can play a bit better and I can express myself a bit more. We're seeing that again. Schär as well was playing some really decent passes upfield where
he played a beautiful one. He played a beautiful one to Joe Linton. There was a long one he played. Joe Linton's touch was beautiful as well. Yeah. And ironically, it was just after that shot when all of the injury or the time wasting by the goalkeeper, whatever you want to call it, that started to happen.
We'll come to that. So watching it on the telly, Villa were pretty much wasting time from the get-go. Like, as soon as they were getting the ball, they were taking a long time taking kicks. And, I appreciate the irony in a Newcastle fan saying that, given what we've been through over the past few games with time wasting. But it was another level. Like, it wasn't like they had a lead to protect, or it wasn't like they were holding on for a draw. This is in like the 15th, 20th minute, and it isn't really nice to see. And I think that is why when the keeper goes down, the reaction that he gets from the fans maybe isn't the best reaction. When, if you look at it on the TV, and I'm sure you probably haven't had a chance to see this, Tyrone Mings not off wallops him with his knee. He knees him in the side of the head, which is what makes him goes down.
Oh, okay.
So it probably doesn't look that bad in real time, and it didn't. It just looked like it coming together. But when you look at it in slow motion, that knee goes into pretty much his temple area, which is probably not the best place to be hit by anything, let alone by Tyrone Mings' knee when he's running in. So he goes down, and it takes a good 5, 6, 7 minutes for them to get him back on his feet, and he seems okay to carry on. And then almost immediately afterwards, they're on the attack. And there's a couple of chances that they have. And then it's, I think it's Buendia goes through, and Dan Byrne makes a great challenge, gets the ball off him, but he kind of catches him as well. And he goes down for a good 3-4 minutes. And at that point in the game, you're just thinking, this is just going to be one of them games where it's stop, start, stop, start. And for a lot of the time, it actually was a bit stop, start, stop, start. And you just kind of thought it isn't going to be all night. It's just going to be one of those games where it's a horrible 0-0 draw where the game just doesn't get the flow. Did you get that feeling in the ground?
I did. No, I massively did. I thought, I said to the lad I was watching with, I said, you have to look at it objectively, right? And if I was the opposing manager, I would say, right, how do we kill the crowd? You've got to get the crowd out of the game. I think that's huge, right? If you come to our place, especially now anyway, since the momentum we're building and the change of everything that's happened at the club. And one of them ways is to waste time. And obviously go back to what you've just said. Sorry, the goalkeeper clearly obviously is taking a whack, and that was a long period of time. But it felt as if we couldn't build any momentum into the game, and there was stop-start, and it was very difficult. And that's why I was screaming even more for us to just be patient. And I didn't feel it, certainly after the goalkeeper got hurt, there was 5 or 7 minutes or whatever it was where I felt we were really frantically trying to get back into the game, but rushing everything and trying audacious passes. I was just relax. This is the time where we need calmness. And to be fair, I could see Howe was given a lot of instructions at the sideline, and I would like to think probably his message was the same. Listen, we still got an hour to go with this football game. Like, just relax, just calm down. But whether, I'm not saying it was gamesmanship, but I think it was maybe tactically a little bit that, if they were getting a knock, let's take our time here and try and kill the crowd, kill the clock, kill the momentum. And I wouldn't say I was worried, but I thought, Christ, if this continues all game, we're in big trouble. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and it came through on the TV, actually. The ground seemed to go a little bit flat for that kind of 10, 15-minute period. And you could actually hear the Villa fans, chirping up a little bit. And then eventually Villa took the keeper off. I think it was a cross that came in, and he caught the ball. He went down and he was just like, and I'm done. And he had to throw it away, which, fair enough, he's well within his right to do that. He's had a head injury. And they brought on their substitute keeper. Who didn't impress me. There was a few chances later on, which we'll come to, where we'd missed the shot, but he was nowhere near it. If it was on, like the couple of shots that went over the bar, if they were on target, they're in, because he's a good yard or two away from that ball. But the board goes up. There's 10 minutes of injury time, and I've been looking back at the match highlights to see what was not the highlights, the report between then the keeper going off and the penalty. It's just foul. Like, that's all that's in the thing, and it was just a string of them again stopping the game and trying to disrupt it. And Miggy picks up the ball, I think on the edge of the box, goes to take a shot, and he hits it with some force. And there's Ashley Young there flying in, and his arms kind of like up and out to the side, and it hits him. Did you feel in the ground that was a penalty? Because it seemed to be very close to him, but it also is that argument of, well, his arm's in an unnatural position.
Yeah, well, so let's where do I start? I thought Willock did very well on the left hand side at that time, and then actually lost the ball. It was a terrible pass inside that them intercepted, but then he did very well to just continue and sort of win it straight back, which I thought he did very well on. Wilson obviously gives it to Almiron, and it's that classic. Well, we'll come to this in the second half, of course. That classic Almiron at the moment has just got a messy left foot, and it's just, he's looking for that bend. I have to be honest, right? From where I was sitting, no question it hit his hand, right? Straight away, I was like, well, it's hit his hand. And of course, everyone's shouting handball. But, I mean, I hate Villa, right? And I'm happy that it was a penalty. But I try my best in every aspect of football to look at it objectively, right? And what would I feel like if it was the other side, right? It's a little bit harsh. Like, I mean, if he's sliding in, like, your arm naturally... it just does, right? Like, he's not gonna slide at the ball with his arms by his side, like a bullet almost. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just not here. Like, you're gonna slide. I don't know. Like, John Terry would be fucked in the modern game, fucked, because that Terry used to make himself. He did. That's what, you know what I mean.
Make himself as big as he could. Yeah, of course.
He could, right? And like, I don't know. I mean, I suppose the way the rules are, is the arm in a natural position? Well, you could say it is. But part of me says, I mean, I've played football, and if I slid in for a ball, my arm's probably there as well. It probably is. I
think what made it a bit more of a clear-cut decision for the referee was when Young jumps in, he's twisted his body, so instead of his arm being like out to his side, it's up in the air. So maybe that's why. I mean, he blew instantly. Like, he didn't even question it. It was like, yep, penalty straight away. VAR looked at it according to the commentary that I was watching. No problems there. Didn't take them a while to question it. They was like, yeah, it's a penalty. So
it was fast.
Yeah, it was very quick. There was no kind of, like we used to with VAR decisions taking another 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe what had went on earlier on in the game had an influence on that, where the referee's like, look, I can't add another 5 minutes on this. It'll be 15 minutes extra time. Let's just get this over with. I mean, who knows? But Wilson steps up to the plate. There's a bit of shithousery before that with, I think it's Ollie Watkins trying to waste time, and he gets booked for it.
Oh, did he get booked? I didn't know.
I think he's keeping hold of the ball, and Wilson's trying to get it. He's like, look, it's a penalty. Just give us the... And so the referee books him.
It was Trippier. Trippier, I seen go over and was really giving them 10 out. Like, Trippier was like saying, listen, you get on your line. It's a penalty. Get on with the type of thing, you know.
It was on the stream I was watching. They were showing the replay of the penalty, and then there was like, oh, there's been a yellow card, and even they didn't know who it was, and then it got confirmed a few minutes later. I'm like, oh, it's Ollie Watkins, because they thought it might have been the keeper.
Him and Watkins seemed to be talking to each other, him and the goalkeeper, for quite a while.
Yeah,
and that was when I noticed Trippier sort of bump over and go, "Hey lads, what you doing? Like, get on your line. It's a penalty." You know what Trippier's like. He tries to ref the game.
He does. But Wilson very calmly and very nicely slots it right down the middle, sends the keeper diving for nothing. And that goal probably couldn't have come at a better time if you think of the game. It picks the crowd up, it picks the team up, and from how the game had been, obviously there'd been chances, but nothing as clear cut as maybe we'd seen. You just kind of thought that was it, because Villa didn't really offer that much more going from there. And then right after that, we had another chance with who was it? It was Willock's through ball. Again, Willock playing a nice ball, and Wilson just mistimed his run. If you see the replays, he's just offside. If he'd stayed on, he's got the pace to beat his man. He takes it round the keeper, and it's a nice finish. But as soon as the ball goes in the back of the net, the flag's up straight away, which, I'm not a fan of that delaying it when it's a clear-cut decision like that, but they do it because they have to. So it was chalked off. It was offside, but it was a good, composed kind of just around the keeper and then dink it over the defender. Well, not over the defender, but dink it so the defender had to work a bit harder to get it if he was going to.
In real time, I was actually surprised he went round the goalkeeper. I thought he had enough time to sort of set himself and then finish. And he took a touch, then took another touch to take it away from the goalkeeper, which was a lovely second touch, and then obviously the finish. And honestly, I'm sitting there just thinking, I'd seen or heard that Southgate was there, sitting next to me, Ed and that, and like, I should really be rooting for Dan Burn, right? I should be rooting for Dan Burn to get on the plane because I think he's better than Tyrone Mings, right? So I'll throw that out there. But today I just thought, I really hope Wilson plays well because I just think he deserves an opportunity to be there. And then when he scored that goal and it was ruled offside, I was kind of saying to me, mate, like, okay, it's offside, but it was a great finish. So Southgate should be watching the finish. But it was a good finish. But I thought going in at 1-0, I thought was fantastic. But I thought, I wouldn't say we got away with one. That's the wrong phrase I'm looking for. But like, I was grateful. I was grateful. It's 1-0. Okay, it hasn't been a great game. Villa had the odd little chance here and there. It was stop-start. So I was really happy to get to half-time at 1-0.
It was almost like as well, you didn't actually want half-time to come at that point because we were on the foot. We got the disallowed goal, we were pressing, but the game was back to kind of what you'd expect. And then half-time came, obviously, and just that second half, I think we just came out looking a complete different beast.
Wow.
We just, there was a question of when we beat Brentford, we didn't get out of second gear. When we beat Fulham, we didn't get out of second, third gear. We shifted into third, fourth gear in this game, and it was just a completely different team in terms of the composure and the performance. And, we pretty much scored within 10 minutes of the second half. It was around 55, 56 minutes. So the second half began, there wasn't much going on. And then Wilson's second goal, was it? I can't remember if it was a corner or if it was we played it and then it came back to Trippier and he crossed it afterwards. I think it was direct from the corner.
It was a corner. Almiron made a fantastic run from almost a back post, to the front of the box, if that makes sense. Lovely 1-2, lovely little back heel from Almiron. And listen, me and you spoke a previous reaction video. Set piece coaches, one was saying we've got like a playbook of set pieces. And that was another one I've never seen before. Like, just amazing, just absolutely amazing. But to go back to the first point you referenced there, that second 45 was as good as you'll see. Like, I think anyway, that was absolutely superb. Relentless at times, just relentless aggression and pressure and pace, and I mean, it was impressive. Like, it was impressive.
I think what's nice is teams in the past and managers in the past, and I'm not just talking about Steve Bruce, but other managers as well, you'd go 1-0 up or you'd go 2-0 up and then you'd sit back and you'd invite the other team to bring the game to you, where this team are just hungry. and they just want to
Aye.
score as many goals as they possibly
Yep.
can. Right up until the last few minutes of the game, we're attacking, we're looking to score goals. It's so nice to see. And it says a lot how we've got, like, a positive 14 goal difference at the minute. So, it's
ridiculous.
I can't believe I've just said that, because I'm a Newcastle fan saying we're on positive goal difference after what, 12, 13 games. So
that honestly, that, like, there was just some of the football, man, was just absolutely superb. And obviously to reference that second goal again, I mean, that's a really, really well worked set piece. It really, really is. And obviously Wilson getting the end of it, of course, I was thrilled.
He seems to scuff it a little bit. It doesn't seem to go where he wants. It kind of goes down. And not where he wants.
I've seen the replay, and to be fair, it almost goes wide. It almost bounces wide. But listen, it was to reference what you've just said there. I think I love how, obviously you're right, that how could quite easily go, listen, let's try and sit tight now and defend that lead. His idea, and this is the way I've always said it should be played, is you defend the lead by being on the front foot. Don't let the opposition gain confidence by having more of the ball. That's a ridiculous attitude to have. And we were just pressing them relentlessly in that second half. And one player who I think I never give credit to, really ever. Well, actually, there's two players I'm going to mention coming up, actually. But the first one is Sean Longstaff. I thought Longstaff today was excellent. Excellent today.
Yeah.
Excellent. His work rate, pressing. There was a few times where he pressed really, really well and then committed a silly foul, I thought. He's done the hard work to get there and he's making a blatant foul, but so be it. But in this like right attacking area of the field, he's really causing trouble. There's like a triangle between him, Almiron, Trippier, and he's ghosting into these areas of right attacking midfield almost that he's not getting picked up. And I'll fast forward for a second. Just the last minute, some of the best football I've ever seen. Joe Linton plays a back heel, and who's the one? Longstaff's the person bursting into this right wing area, crosses the ball beautifully for Wood. Beautiful cross. He played fantastic today. Longstaff was really good today.
Yeah, I thought he started a bit shaky, but I think they all did. He was missing a few passes, but he grew into the game, which I seem to say that quite a lot when we're talking about these games. Like the players just get better and better as the game goes on. It was interesting with Longstaff because he had a few chances as well. He maybe could have got on the score sheet. He had a few shots and a few missed chances. I think it was one. He tried a shot from the 30, 40 yards out. He saw the keeper off his line. He's just like, I'm going to hit this. It's like, you'd never see Sean Longstaff try that last season.
I was going to ask you this, actually.
Just one of those, But
it was a bit on the replay, Did he go for goal, or was it, I personally thought he was trying to cross it to Joe Linton, but do you feel he went for goal?
Looks like he did. He looked up and saw the keeper off his line. The keeper was scrambling a bit, but once the keeper realised it wasn't, because obviously the keepers know where the posts are, right? So once he knew it was going past there, he was like, it's fine. But if he wasn't, it's a horrible pass. So
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it was decent. But pretty much, it was almost 3 minutes after the Wilson goal. We'll go on the attack again. Again, it's another great build-up. Callum Wilson's got the ball, and I think he plays Joe Linton a bit wide, and he should have maybe released it a bit earlier so that he could get onto it. But Joe Linton gets the ball, he cuts it back, and Wilson's there to pick up that cutback, takes a shot, keeper spills it, and then Joe Linton's there with a tap in. Again, another question of offside, but Mings is playing him on, so there's no problems with that.
I see. Right.
And you could see from Joe Linton what that meant.
I was surprised. I was surprised at how long the second goal took for offside, whereas I thought the third one, I actually thought he might have been offside. From my eyes, anyway, I thought,
the second one, it was Dan Burn. He was going for the header, but he didn't. Like, he was running, but he didn't attempt to make the play. And I think he was slightly offside if he'd attempted to play, but he didn't. He didn't actually make that, and he didn't interfere with the moment with the moment of play, so he wasn't offside. But yeah, the third one, there was a question, and again, but it was easier to see. I think Mings was just in line with him, and there was no worries there. But you could see Joe Linton. Obviously, the Brazil coach was in the crowd. He's chomping at the bit to get in that Brazil side. You'd like to think when Bruno had him at the steak place last night, he's had a little word with him as well about Joe Linton. So
Joe was outstanding the day, by the way. Joe Linton was brilliant. That was one of listen, we've we've applauded Joe Linton for the midfield battling role for a good while.
Yeah.
I felt that he did that today, but also did even more than that. Like he was a threat on that left hand side all game. I thought his touch looked great. He was bringing in players into play. And again, you're seeing the other side of the game where Villa were breaking forward and Joe Linton would be the one that would just come from behind and sort of sweep it up. I thought he was outstanding the Joe Linton. I really did.
It's fitness, isn't it? I think he's just one of those players that's naturally fit. So him and Almiron on your left and right, they can run up and down that pitch, and they don't ever look to get tired. And it's so nice because it gives the wing backs a bit of a breather, but it also gives like just everyone else just confidence that, well, they're going to be there, so I can do a little bit more than what I would normally would do.
Like thinking back in the past, like I'll go back to I can't remember, I mentioned him, like, but Bruce, like them days. I remember thinking, like, you think of a right hand side in midfield or the right hand side at all. Just think of the right hand side. It was nothing. There was absolutely nothing down the right hand side. It was all about just relying on Maxi on the left.
Yeah.
And now you think we're so dangerous on that right hand side. We are, because Trippier is so advanced all the time. You've got Bruno, who's always floating over there playing 1-2s. Almiron's on fire. It's just unbelievable. I honestly swear to God, I come out of there and I'm probably just rambling now, actually, but like I've never felt as high as that, Like, and now we've beaten bigger teams than Villa at home, but this momentum, this whole surge, like, it's just we're in the top three until the last second, really, because Tottenham scored. We're in the top three and like still only lost one game. Our defense looks absolutely solid. We'll look like we're going to get goals in every game. Like, it's just it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what I'm saying. Like, it really is.
It is, and we'll keep it on something ridiculous. And you mentioned Miggy being on fire. His goal. I mean, I think we joked about this in the last reaction, and we've joked about it before that. I think he's got 3 contenders for goal of the month now. Because that shot he's doing again today, he just loves that top left-hand corner of the goal. He seems to know exactly where it is. And it's something I mentioned, I think it was on the reaction or the preview, sorry. He seems to have power in his shots now, where in the past he would get the ball and kick the ball, and it's like he's kicked a paper bag. Like, it's just going nowhere. But now he's actually getting force behind it. And, we saw it with the shot that led to the penalty, but this shot again, I mean...
it's a beautiful goal, isn't it? It's just beautiful, isn't it?
He doesn't score shit goals, does he?
I know.
He just doesn't score them.
I have to come back to what you said there about the power in the shot. Like, you go back 2 years ago, 12 months, 2 years ago, Almiron cuts inside and tries to bend one like that. It's as you say, it's almost like a pass back, really. That's what would have happened, right?
Yeah.
The power that he's generating is, and that I'm sorry, that can't just be confidence. You can't just listen.
No.
I think confidence is having the belief you can shoot from there. That's confidence, right? Being able to cut inside where I'm going to shoot, but to technically be able to deliver it, that has to come to what you're doing Monday to Friday almost. Do you know what I mean? Like, you whatever it is that Howe's doing or the staff are doing. I mean, what a goal! And as you say, I mean, he doesn't score a bad goal, does he?
No. I think the Man U one was probably his worst goal, and the Man City goal was probably his worst, where it come off his thigh. But that was the kind of the torch that lit the fire.
It was catalyst. Yeah,
it was great. I mean, he's come under a lot of stick over the years, and I think I've given him stick on extra time just because of the fact that he's one of those players that you used to think, oh well, he'll run up and down the pitch and that's pretty much all he'll do. But now he seems almost like the complete package. The only thing you'd want from him now is assists, and he's passing the ball around that they're going to come as well. It just looks like the player that we thought we were getting when he came to the club.
He nearly had one in the first half, if I remember rightly. I think someone, maybe Trippier or someone played him. He took a great first touch. He shot with his right foot, and the keeper saved it, which is, it happens, right? It's fine. But you're on about fitness, energy. You're on about Joe Linton and Almiron on the wings, right? We have got a few players. I'll mention Longstaff here as well that I feel are naturally fit people. They are just, they are fit players. They obviously now look even, like 50% more than what we've seen before, because the fitness is there, the training's there, that what we are doing is there. Almiron is he is absolutely lightning quick around the field now. I mean, lightning. There was a moment it was right at the end of the game, I'm sure. Almiron got it, and he just drove forward and played out wide to Joe Linton. I thought, he's running like it's the first minute. Like, it's how fast how fast he was. And he came off quite soon after that. Like, but just the again, confidence obviously breeds that as well, and the good feel obviously does that as well. But the fitness within the group across everybody, you can see it a mile off. That is, everyone is just so fit, which is just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's so nice to see compared to what we were used to the first half of last season with the 2-day training weeks or whatever. There was a few changes, as you mentioned. Before that, Wilson nearly gets his hat trick. Again, it's a ball, and I think from Trippier, and he heads it, and it just rattles that crossbar.
It's Murphy.
Is it Murphy crosses it in?
Aye. I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, because Murphy came on before Wilson went off, didn't he?
Yeah. Murphy was excellent when he come on. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. And I did say I was going to mention two players who I'm not really, I'm trying to be nice, but I'm not a fan of necessarily. I thought Murphy was excellent when he come in. The pace, always on the front foot, and he crossed it for Wilson, who hit the ball. That was a hell of a header.
Yeah. We've seen it in the last game as well. When Murphy came on, he was pressing, and he kind of, where we were looking a bit leggy and a bit tired in that game last week, Murphy coming on, pressing, kind of forced Wilson and Almiron to be like, oh shit, yeah, we need to do this, don't we? And they were then pressing, which helped.
I thought it was excellent.
Just after that, Murphy hit the post himself. He cut inside, he had that shot. It rattled the right post there. And then there was just a few missed chances after that. Lascelles arguably should have maybe done better with that post, with the free kick. Yeah. It seemed to get above him. He just didn't seem to know where the ball was. Yeah, Chris Wood at the end. I mean,
what a bit of play.
I'll tell you what, if Callum Wilson's on the pitch, that's in the back of the net. That's all I'm saying about that. Because he'll just throw himself at it. Again, it seems like Wood doesn't expect the ball to come in, or he doesn't expect it to be where it is, and he seems a bit misfooted. And he's on his left foot and not his right foot to take a shot, whatever. But you should be putting that, at least getting something on it. You just missed it completely, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think. Thinking of it now, I think it was Murphy again actually who started the move off brilliantly. Like, he was in a very tight position, and he somehow managed to find, I think it was maybe Bruno, who then played it to Joe Linton. Joe Linton's back heel to Longstaff was lovely. But again, the back heel, I always have to say this, everyone around us was commenting on Bruno. Oh, that pass from Bruno was amazing. I 100% agree. But the pass is not available if the run's not there. And that's why I'll credit Longstaff for that back heel. Yes, everyone was going, oh, Joe Linton. But Longstaff's the one who makes the run to make the back heel happen. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm going to try and be nice to Wood. Obviously, perhaps that's just a bit of sharpness that obviously he's not playing much.
Yeah, a bit rusty.
And maybe a bit rusty, maybe. But I agree, if Wilson's on, that's probably a goal. And that would have been one of the best team goals you'll see, because that was beautiful. It was beautiful play.
Yeah.
And it could have been 6 or 7.
Two almost.
It really could have been 6 or 7.
It should have been. It should have been 6. Hitting the bar, hitting the post. Few in the first half, but it wasn't. It finished 4-0.
We'll take the 4, Scott. We'll take the 4.
Yeah, we'll take the 4, of course. Yeah, I'm not going to be too greedy. It leaves us in 4th position. Like I said, we did spend a bit of today in 3rd. Had Spurs not have come back and won 3-2, we would have been in 3rd. We're undefeated in September and October. Granted, there was only 2 games in September, but I'm taking it. We're undefeated in September and October.
I think
we've scored 14 goals in 8.
Is that correct?
We're undefeated games now. Yeah,
hey,
Liverpool. We've only lost 1. I think I said this last week, but if Eddie Howe isn't manager of the month, something's wrong. Like, that is, even just taking October into consideration, the fact we've played Spurs and Man U, and then wrap that up with the other games we've played. You should be taking that easy. It shouldn't even be a vote. It should just be given to him. But there we go. And Miggy, I mean, we've adjusted 3 goals potentially for goal of the season. He has to be player of the month or man of the month these years. These days.
Hey, that'll be lovely. That though, won't it? If they both win it, they both get the award. That'll be fabulous. That'll be lovely.
I don't know when that's happened before, or if it's happened before, where the manager and the player. I'm thinking Horton and. I can't remember. Well, I think Horton was the last manager to get manager of the month for us, so it must be for the Premier League.
I'm going back to Bobby Robson and Shearer getting it. That's how far I'm going back. So
maybe it's
2000.
So we'll see. If you know what that is, let me know in the comments, so we can talk about it on Monday from the over smiling faces. Deka, mate, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it, mate. I think I just think we just really have to enjoy what we are seeing at the minute. It's beyond any of our dreams really at the moment. We're so far ahead of where I thought we'd be. And credit to of course credit to the players, but you cannot speak any more higher for Eddie Howe, can you really? Eddie Howe has just changed this football club. Like you can know about the money and all the rest of it, but what he is getting out of these players is it's insane, to be honest.
It's another level that we didn't think we'd get from them. And I think the flag at the beginning, the city's breathing again, is
believing again,
well fitting, because I was watching that and I'm, however many hundreds of miles away in Amsterdam, and I don't get homesick that often, but I was homesick the day watching that, hearing that crowd. I was just like, I need to be there. I need to be there, but it is what it is. Hopefully I'll get for at least one game this season. We'll see. But that's it, mate. We'll wrap this one up. If you do like this content, please consider becoming a subscriber. It's absolutely free to do so, and it really helps us out. You just need to scroll down from this little box and hit that red subscribe button. And while you're there, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, which also helps get this video into the hands of other Newcastle fans and maybe some Villa fans as well. We'll let them watch if they want to. If you want to go that one step further, we do have a membership program. It's $2.99 a month, and that gets you early access to all the videos as well as access to the Telegram group. Coming up next week, obviously we've got the Always Smiling Faces podcast. We'll have a preview for the Southampton game, which we're going into that game with a ton of confidence. That's going to be another game where they're not firing on all cylinders, so we'll see what happens with that one. That'll be interesting. This is the confidence we've got at the minute, and it's absolutely great. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Where, again, 12 months ago, you'd be like, oh, that's a tough game, Southampton. Go down to St. Mary's. Oh, now we're relishing it, and we just cannot wait. Cannot wait for the weekend. It's really nice to see. But thanks, everyone, for watching. I've really enjoyed this one, Deka, mate. It's always good after a win.
Cheers, mate.
But I will leave you with the final words, mate.
Well, Won Ya Kna, get in.
Get in. See you later.